好, welcome to Chinese for Leaders at the Next Generation. I'm your Chinese teacher, 范老师. I'm here to help you learning Chinese in a systematically way. By the end of this course, you will be able to reach A2 level, which is equivalent to HSK2 level. So, are you ready? Let's get started. In today's context, I will introduce you three parts of knowledge. First is pinyin and tones. This part will teach you how to read Chinese. Second part is characters introduction. This part will teach you how to write characters. And then third will be the major context of this lesson, the greetings. You will be able to say hello, thank you, and stuff like this. So let's see the first one, pinyin and tones. Many people wondering, how do you read a Chinese? Characters especially. And here's something we can help you. On top of these symbols, you can call it pinyin. So pinyin is the phonetic system. It can help learners to pronounce Chinese. And the symbol, we call it 汉字, which is also known as characters. So characters is the writing system of Chinese. Now, let's look into the pinyin, because this is the most important for the beginners. This is a syllable, and one syllable is composed by three parts. First, the right part, we call it the initials. In Chinese, we have 21 initials. Second part, we call it the finals. In Chinese, we have 36 finals. And you might already notice the little tick on top of it. This is called tones. We have 4 tones in Chinese. So let's look into the initials first. Here are the pinyin initials. As you can see, please read after me. 波 波 坡 坡 摸 摸 佛 佛. You might notice, and between B and P, or bo and po, there's a little H here. So this H will remind you have to make a proof pronunciation for P. And this is quite different with English or French. And the second row, D, D, T, T, N, N, L, L. Third row, G, G, K, K, H, H. So please pay attention. In Chinese, H do pronounce, and not like French. Okay, so the last line, Ji, Ji, Qi, Qi, Xi, Xi. For this row, you need to bite your teeth at the beginning and crack it only when you're trying to pronounce. So one more time. Ji, Ji, Qi, Qi, Xi, Xi. It's quite easy, isn't it? Alright, let's see the last 7. So for the first row, you will need to curl up your tongue. Please read after me. Zhi, zhi, chi, chi, shi, shi, zhi, zh. And then this part, it's exactly the same position of your tongue, and just don't curl it up. Z, z, c, c, s, s. You always can go back and listen and practice them again. Now, let's look into the finals. So I divided the finals to 3 parts. The first part, which is vowels, what we also call the monofinals. We have 6 of these vowels. They are very important. Let's see them one by one. And this one read as, open your mouth big and round, ah, ah. Second one, o, o. Third one, Fourth one, e. Fifth one, make your lip round and small, oo. And this one also make your lip round and small, ü. Very good. Now, can you, based on the way of the pronunciation, to tell me what's the regulation between these 6 vowels? Why 8 in this order? Smart as you, you already find the regulation. I mean, this order is based on the mouth open wide. So from ah, your mouth is the widest, and then till ü, your mouth open is the most narrow way. So these are the orders of these 6 vowels. And why this is important? I'll keep a secret by now. Later I'll tell you. Okay, let's see the second part of the finals, the compound final. And this is composed by either 2 or 3 vowels together. So let's see them one by one. No matter how long this final is, you only pronounce once. So, I, a, o, ya, ye, wa, wo,约, yo, we. Oh, I pronounced it wrong. Why, we. Okay, let's see the Pinyin Finals 3, Nasal Finals. In this part, it will involve your nose to pronounce. So let's go through it. An, yan, wan, o, yuan, en, yin, wen, yun, on, yang, wang, ing, ing, wong, on, yong. These are the nasal finals. So it's not very difficult. Let's learn the tones before we combine them together. So we have 4 tones, and as you can see here, and you can imagine these blocks are like the music pitch. So do, re, mi, fa, sol. 1 is the lowest, 5 is the highest. So the first tone is from 5 to 5. The pitch is 55. So when you pronounce it, it doesn't change. And this can also be called the flat tone. Take an example. This one, it reads as ma, ma. Okay? And the second tone. The second tone is called rising tone as well. The pitch is from 3 rising up to 5. Please read after me. Ma, ma. The third one is started from 2, then dropped to 1, and then rising up to 4. And then in majority occasion, you can just pronounce not too high to 4, can just pronounce it to 2. So this one will be ma, ma. You can feel there's an obvious turn in this sound, in this tone. So it's also called the V tone. And sometimes you don't have to pronounce so standard. You can just say ma, ma. It's also okay. It's more natural. Okay, the last one is a little bit difficult for French learners, and you're gonna pronounce it from 5 to 1. Ma, ma. So these 4 tones linked together, which is ma, 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 ma. Can you tell the difference? So you might also wondering, why do you need a tone? Because tone are very important. If you don't pronounce standard tone, people will think you're talking about another character or another meaning. So the tones are used to distinguish the meanings. They are very, very important and essential. As you can see, if you pronounce the first tone, ma, it means mother. And then if you pronounce the third tone, ma, it means the horse. So it all depends on your tone. We can understand which characters you're talking about and also the meaning. Okay, so please read these syllables aloud and pay attention to the tones. Ah, 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 ah. 我，我，我，我，我，我，我，我。鹅，鹅，鹅，鹅，鹅，鹅，鹅，鹅。一，一，一，一，一，一，一，一。乌，乌，无，无，五，五，物，物。鱼，鱼，鱼，鱼，雨，雨，玉， ü. Can you tell the difference? If you don't, that's okay. Learning tones takes time. So let's combine with the pictures. And in the pictures, you can see the meaning of this syllable. And let's read them together. 比 爬 佛 倒桶花鞋鸡 Let's put two syllables together and pronounce again. 咖啡手表飞机地图熊猫足球火锅小鸟 See, it's not difficult at all. Alright. Some of you might heard there's a fifth tone. Apart from the four tones mentioned previously, there's another tone in Chinese which is short and light, known as the neutral tone. For example, if you call your mom, it will be 妈妈 If you're talking about a table, it should be 桌子 Your older brother, 哥哥 Younger brother, 弟弟 So you might ask, now you have the neutral tone. Maybe you're wrong. You shouldn't say you have four tones. You have five tones together. But this is not the real situation. As you can see in the first character, mama, these two are the exactly same characters. They should have the exact same pronunciation. But the second one goes neutral is because people, when they pronounce the two same pronunciation, they want to save some energy. The second one goes neutral. But itself also have a pitch. Just the pitch is abbreviated here. And the neutral tones pronunciation will change from the previous syllable. If the first tone is ma, and the second one will also go neutral, similar to the pronunciation. So in this meaning, because it itself don't have a steady pitch, and we don't consider there's a fifth tone, we'll just call it neutral tone. And neutral tone is a change of the pronunciation, but never a steady pitch, so you cannot call it a tone. Alright, let's continue. You learned the initial, you learned the finals, and you already know the tones. Maybe you will ask, where should I mark the tones on the syllables? Here I give you a rule. First, you must mark the tones on a vowel. As you can see for the past syllables, all the tones are marked on the vowel. And what about if there are two vowels together? So if there are more than two vowels, mark on the mouth wider opened ones. You remember this order? Now, here is the usage. If there's an A and an O in this pronunciation, in the syllable, you always mark it on A instead of O. For example, and you can see 在, there's an A and E in this pronunciation, and you mark the tones on A because A have wider mouth opened than E. For 陈, This one, you marked obviously on the only vowel, which is a. And the last one, 对, because E is bigger mouth than U, so you mark the tone on U. Okay? Maybe there's an exception? Yes, indeed, there is an exception. So when E and U together, you always marked it on U. So this one is an exception. And for neutral tone, of course, no mark for neutral tone. Neutral tone goes neutral. That's the reason it doesn't have a tone. Alright, so this is the way of how to mark the tones. Now, since we finished the pinyin and the tones, let's know something about the characters. In our program, you're not required to write characters, but you should be able to recognize characters. And if you want to learn it for a long term, you want to develop the Chinese as your expertise, or you want to be able to talk to people fluently in the future, or you want to choose this as your major, I think you should learn and must learn characters. But here, let's just have some fun facts about it. So in the very beginning, how did the character develop? We'll just curve some pictures or image on the back of a turtle. So this is called oracles. And then later, when we have metal, we will put this on the copper. And then continue as time goes by and put it on the stone. So this is called a greater seal. Later, when we have the bamboo, we put bamboo together. Then they developed the other script. As you can see, here is how a character change. Let's see the first one. 人. Look at the image. It's a person. Maybe he's doing something. So this is a 人. And gradually, it changed to today's simplified version of people. And let's see this one. This one means ear. It pronounced and then as it develops, and you can see this is the characters for today. Some developers have a very big gap, and as Chinese people, they might don't even recognize them. So don't put too much pressure on yourself. And this one, it's my favorite one. This one is 上. It read as 日. So it's a round one and then put a dot instead of it. The dots, you know what? That's the black spots of the sun. Okay, and then it developed to this shape. You don't have to memorize the how does the character change. So the final one, you only need to remember this column. That is okay. So you might wonder, so this looks complicated. So how do you write them? There is a regulation. If you're interested in how to write characters, you might find the optional material in our lesson. In the day 1, I will give you stroke orders for lesson 1 and 2. And in each lesson, I will also offer you how to write characters, which is called the stroke orders. Now, so what is a stroke? A stroke is when you started to write something. From the time you drop your pen on the paper, and then you draw, you write, and then till the next time you pick up your pen, this is called one stroke. So we have some basic fundamental strokes. The first one is called 点, literally means dot. When you write 点, you from top to the bottom left or to the bottom right. On the example here, this is to the bottom right. And then you have horizontal one, which is called 横. You don't have to remember this. 横is written from left to right. And then vertical ones called 竖, from top to bottom. And this is called the 撇. And then when you write them, you should start it from the top right to the bottom left. And then this one is called downstroke to the left. of course, there will be downstroke to the right. It's the same thing. And also, you will have something called T. T is from the bottom, normally is from the bottom right to bottom left to bottom to top right. And then occasionally you have the last one. Last one is a hook. It's a go. Because a go is regularly always combined with a vertical or a horizontal stroke. So go is not a individual stroke. Okay? So what's the rules of this stroke order? Basically, horizontal go first, then vertical. So you normally just finish the horizontal line, then to write the vertical line. And the second rule, top first, then bottom. This is how you write characters. And then number 3 will be left first, then right. It's good for people who are who like to use their right hand more than their left hand. If number 4, sorry, I should have put a number 5. Pause. And we'll cut it here. And number 4, you should write center first, then the both sides. So this is pretty much the stroke order. Now I'm showing you some demo of the stroke order. As you can see, it started from top to bottom and then finished the left part, then to the right part. This is 好 means good. And then this one, horizontal first, then vertical, then horizontal vertical hook, top to bottom. I show you another one. Each one is getting more complicated. So don't worry, when you write characters, you build them stroke by stroke, one part after another part, and it won't be too difficult. 好, so now let's come to the major part of this lesson. We're finally gonna learn some practical Chinese. Greetings. Let's say the first one. So text 1, it's pretty much when people say each other, it's like a bonjour. It's like a hello in English. So 你 literally means you. This is a singular form. 好 literally means good or fine. So please read after me. 你好。你好. When people say 你好 to you, and you also reply to them 你好 as well. Here, there is a small change for pronunciation. You notice 你 and 好, they're both the third tone. So when the two third tones put together, you will have to change the first tone to the rising tone, or we call it the second tone. So 你好, instead of saying this, you will say 你好. This is more natural. Don't sound like a robot. So read after me one more time. 你好. 你好. Okay, this is quite simple. Next one. If you want to show your politeness, you want to be polite, and you will need to use the pronoun 您. 您. And then so 你好 will change to 您好. 您好. When you use 您好, this is more likely you talk to people who are older than you, or who have higher social status than you, or you purely just respect them. So you will use 您好. Some people will require you to just use 你好 will be fine. So it's based on what they want and how old are you. Next one, which is you as a plural form, we will say 你们, 你们. In Chinese, we don't really have 您们 this word, either 您 or 你们. 你们 is polite enough, so don't worry. Well, look at the picture. There's a bunch of two young people first time say the older people, and they said 您好, 您好, respectful way. And this person can reply with 你们好, 你们好. Very good. Did you learn it? Okay, let's continue. Third one. Oh, this is a term. We will say 对不起. I'm sorry. 对不起. And for answering that, you will say 没关系. 没关系. Okay, let's continue. So I'm sorry, it's alright. 对不起, 没关系. And if somebody help you, and you will say 谢谢. Say thank you, Maxi. 谢谢. 谢谢. And 不 means no or not. And here is another change of the sound, but we will put this in next lesson. So when people say thank you to you, and you can say 不谢. No need to thank you. No need to thank. 不谢. 谢谢. 不谢. 谢谢. 不谢. There's also another way. You want to say 谢谢你. Thank you. Thank you. 谢谢你. And the other way of answer is 不客气. 不客气. 不客气 means you don't have to be so polite. So 不客气, you're welcome. You're welcome. 不客气. Here comes the last one. When they say goodbye to each other, we will say 再见. 再见. See you again. 再见. So now, let's review all of this one more time. 你好. 你好. 您好. 您好. 你们好. 你们好. 对不起. 对不起. 没关系. 没关系. 谢谢. 谢谢. 不谢. 不谢. 谢谢你. 谢谢你. 不客气. 不客气. 再见. 再见. Okay, here comes to the end of today's video class. And please finish the homework. And I'll see you tomorrow. 再见.